Welcome to Darien, King of Kjeldor. Hope you're excited. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, I love it. We've got 3 lands in the hand. We have Swiftfoot Boots. I was hoping this would be Ancient Tomb, but it'll also work with that 3 damage. You get some pretty good soldiers going for that, and our opponent's on the play, so we're going to go ahead and let them do their thing. But yes, this is Darien with the brand new 1 versus 1 update. Really excited about this. Darien works so good with a lot of those pain cards. Let's go ahead and get down planes, and then anything else, we'll kick it back over to our opponent. We're playing Darien, King of Kjeldor. Whenever you're dealt damage, you may create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. Playing against Jeleva, and I may have said that wrong, but we're going to roll with it. Flying, whenever it enters the battlefield, each player exiles the top X cards of their library, and then I'll cover that in just a second. Let's go and get down planes. Do we want to go for Azor's Gateway? Yeah, I think I like that. That way we can kind of start filtering through our library. Let's go and get that down, kick it back over there. Look at the top X cards of their library. X is the amount of mana spent to cast her, and then whenever she attacks, you may cast an instant or sorcery without paying its mana cost. So it's been a little bit since I've played against her, but it always makes for a fun kind of Grixis match against her. But hopefully we get stuff down like Ancient Tomb. One of the things that really makes this deck really shine is a lot of damage being dealt to you, especially when you get down some sort of life gain on the battlefield to kind of negate that life loss and get a ton of soldiers going. Okay, so we do have Azor's Gateway. Let's go ahead and get down Tarnished Citadel. And yeah, we can definitely get down Swiftfoot Boots. Let's go and loot with Azor's Gateway just to kind of dig a little bit deeper into our library. Drawn to Nomad Stadium. Let's go and exile Court Street, I think, at this point right now. It's going to get down Swiftfoot Boots. It's going to be 1/2, and then anything else, we'll kick it back over there. Now, as far as some of the updates to the deck, we did add Ancient Tomb in here. That 2 damage really helps us kind of get those soldiers going, and at the same time, get down Darien a little bit quicker. Also added Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, and Mana Vault, so it's almost just like Darien used to be. I used to love recording with Darien all the time. It was one of my favorite decks to record with, but unfortunately, once they kind of neutered some of the really quick mana, or the mana that did a lot of damage to you, kind of made Darien not be that good. It kind of shifted it into a little bit more of a good stuff style deck. So to have a lot of this fast mana back in here, it feels pretty good. Alright, so our opponent did grab a couple different things. They grabbed Ablation, Windfall, and then Lightning Greaves off of that. Let's get their other reveal zone popped up, and that was 3 lands off of that too. Okay, let's go and cross that off, and then we'll see what they're going to be able to go for. So they did get the Lightning Greaves on there, and then, yeah, because it's looking at 4, okay, that's what it is. They look at the top 4 mana, and those get exile. So we're looking at Oblation and Windfall if they want to go for that. If they end up going for Windfall, it's not the end of the world. And they went for, okay, they shuffled away the Azor's Gateway, so that's not too bad. And that does leave us Disenchant to go for that, targeting Lightning Greaves if we need to. I'm just going to get down Nomad Stadium. Now, if we're staring down Windfall next turn, where we get that each player discards their hand, what do we want to get down the worst? We do have Swiftfoot Boots down at this point right now. Let's go and go for Anointed Procession. I think that sounds pretty good. We'll go for Anointed Procession. That way, if we do get down Darien, or let's say that we do wheel into something like Ancient Tomb, we can get that down and really kind of start to amplify out the number of soldier tokens that we're going to get going onto the battlefield. But yeah, feels good to be playing Darien again, and just, man, you get those Ancient Tomb going, and just really ends up, it's just really nice being able to tap for 2 mana and get 2 soldiers going onto the battlefield. Now, I've been playing Dungeons & Dragons. Just kind of shift this over into Dungeons & Dragons talk. I've been playing Dungeons & Dragons with my neighbor, and it's been a lot of fun so far because I've always played Dungeons in some form or fashion, but it's never been like traditional Dungeons and Dragons. It's always been just kind of roll a d20, or one of my buddies is like, hey, let's try to play one night, and so then they do like a quick little like one-shot night to where we just play for a couple hours, and then we never finish it up again. But we've been going for about trying to think now, probably about 2 months now, and we were playing Strahd, or the Curse of Strahd. It's been pretty fun, and we went into this temple, was our last session, and it was really really exciting because we have a little Facebook group, and our dungeon master was like, all right, everybody, he's like, just giving y'all a heads up. He goes, y'all, some of y'all may die tonight, if you're not careful. And so that had me worried all day because I've really started to enjoy my character. I'm playing Kamal. I'm actually playing Kamal as a druid within 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, kind of like a Golgari druid in some form or fashion. So that's basically, I've really grown to like my character, and I got really worried whenever our dungeon master said that. But we're in the temple right now. I think I cannot remember the name of the temple, but like there's this, I think it was called like a fiend or something like that. It was some sort of like demon style. But I'm just going to go for Fact or Fiction. Let's go and get this pile kind of split up real quick. I really want to make sure Vault and Soul Ring aren't in the same pile. Let's do Grixis right there. Do we want to miss out on this? Is kind of a weird pile to go for because that Soul Ring is so good, and Vault's pretty much going to turn them online for any card in their library. I think I'm okay with this pile right here. They're going to have to tap out 3 mana for Grixis, and Vault is another 2 mana. Brainstorm, Soul Ring, this is a pretty safe pile for them to take, but if they want a little bit of extra value, they'll go for that Vault. So let's see which one they end up choosing on this one. Okay, so they do end up taking Soul Ring, Brainstorm, and Island, so we'll go and leave that up right there. But yeah, so we went into this temple, and unfortunately I missed the session previously from that, so I couldn't remember what happened leading up to that. But long story short, we were helping somebody look for something, and when we first walk in there, man, I took a really bad hit. I was going to get down City of Brass. Once again, we're looking at that Windfall, potentially kind of wheeling our hand. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total mana. Let's go and get down Lightning Greaves, because if we do draw into that lane next turn, I'd really like to be able to get protection for Darien if possible, and there's not really much. We could get down Bastion Protector if we wanted to, but I like getting down Lightning Greaves with a little bit of an extra protection, so let's go and get that down. And actually, now that I think about it, we can still go and get down Bastion Protector, and that'll kind of work out to whenever we get ready for, hopefully hit that lane drop next turn, we get down Darien. Okay, so we 1 damage, knock us down to 25. Let's go and get Lightning Greaves on Bastion Protector. There we go. And then probably, since she does have flying, let's just go and push in for 3. It's going to knock him down to 26. And it's not the end of the world that they've got us down to 25 with 2 total commander damage. But yeah, so we go into the temple, and so we kind of walk into this temple, and there's this long hallway, and it kind of spreads out into this balcony. And so they have this big statue, like this huge statue, probably about 30 feet in the air, and there's this demon that's like hiding in the Helm of Awakening. Costs 1 less to cast. Okay, and so there's this demon that's hiding in the head of the statue, but he had cast some sort of like darkness spell to where we couldn't see where he was. And so as soon as you walk into the temple, I get hit with this fireball for like 25 points of damage, and that's like half my. I'm only like level 5 at this point right now, so that's like half my my hit points right there. So I'm like, all right, great. We're going to this temple our dungeon master warned us about, and I'm already at half of my life total. And so like we run down the hallway to the left, because you walk in, there's a long hallway on the left, and you walk out on the balcony, and there's doors to your left and doors to your right. And so we all run to the door to the left, and as soon as we open it, Brainstorm, sure, go for it. And we're going to cross that island off, because I'm pretty sure they played an island already. Yeah, they did play an island, so we're going to cross that off. So that's going to be everything that they revealed. So we run to the door to the left, and we walk in, and there's all these kind of like barbarians, and then I'm like, oh no, I'm going to die to some like random barbarian who's living in this this temple. But what ended up happening is the room that we went into, there's this kind of crack in the temple, and they're just kind of these nomad hunters that were living in that room or whatever. And it looked like they were going to be pretty aggressive, but we ended up talking to them, and we told them that we'd help them hunt for food, or there's this really big bird that was outside of the temple, that we'd help them kill that bird that's been giving us some troubles if they would help us go into the temple with us. And then they agreed to that, so that was pretty good, because it was almost kind of like we had some bodyguards in a way. So, and it was funny because our dungeon master, dramatic reversal, sure, go for that. Our dungeon master was like, all right, so just to kind of make my job a little bit easier, I want each of you to take control of one of the barbarians. And so it was kind of like we had our little pet barbarian. And so he's like, I was like, do we name our guys? He's like, yeah, if you want to. And so I named my guy Carl. It's going to be 2 R's and 2 L's. Opponent's going to go for Gush. Okay, and so a couple of other people in our party, they lost their barbarian, and one of them was actually jumping across from one ledge and fell down and like broke his leg, and I felt kind of bad about that. But I still have Carl, and we're only about halfway through the dungeon. We had to stop, man. We played for we started at 6:30. I think we ended at midnight, and this was during the week, so I was pretty tired. See if we hit that lane. Oh, there we go. Run into Ancient Tomb. Now the only downside with this is that we can't take advantage of that with Darien, but at least we can still go ahead and get down Darien and go for that. Yeah, let's go and do that. Let's go and get down Ancient Tomb. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, we can still tap out for Tar's Citadel and get those soul. Ooh, that'd be really good with the Anointed Procession. Yeah, let's go and do that. Let's tap out for Darien. Oh, dang it, I forgot about the Helm of Awakening. We could have gotten a little bit better off of that with that Ancient Tomb, so sorry about that. We could have got a couple more soul. Ooh, opponent's going to go for Pact of Negation. Okay. That's going to take care of it. Do we want to go for... With that last mana, I don't mind losing a little bit of life. Let's go ahead and take... let's take 3, and let's go for Disenchant on that Soul Ring. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's go and go for Disenchant on Soul Ring. I'm okay with that. So we're going to use that last mana, Disenchant. And then anything else, let's go and push in for 3. Since it does have flying, and then they will have to tap out for that mana, so that's really going to complicate or really kind of tie them down on mana on what they can do. And then with that Helm of Awakening, we'll try to make a little bit better use of our mana to get down Darien and get those soldiers going. But yeah, sorry, I was so wrapped up in Dungeons talk, I completely forgot about the Helm of Awakening over there. But yeah, so we had our different barbarians or whatever, and then we're jumping across this one ledge, and one of our party's barbarians, it didn't make it made like a athletics check and got like a 4, so it fell down and broke his leg. But at this point right now, we have Carl's along with me, and there's at one point to where I think we were fighting another one of the barbarians had died, and he actually turned into a zombie in that temple. And so me and Carl kind of did like the fist pump, and we we pushed that zombie barbarian off the ledge. So that felt pretty good to do that. Let's go to get down plains, and let's see what's the best way that we can get down Darien. We are looking at 2 open mana at this point, so they have another counter spell, so be it. But we're looking at 7 total mana. Yeah, that's still going to leave us online for Tarnished Citadel. Yeah, let's go and do that. Let's going to be 1, 2, 3. Okay, now will the actual counterspell. Okay, so you're going to get it on that one. And we can still cast Darien again next turn. So hopefully, with them only having 3 cards in the hand, we can do something with that. Let's go and push in with Bastion Protector again. It's not getting super bad. We're at 14. We're going to be taking some damage off some of this stuff. It would be really nice to draw into something that really helps us gain some life. So if we can get into something like a Soul Warden or something, that'll really help us kind of maybe not die at our own ancient tomb. But this is pretty much what you want to do with Darien. Okay, then we kick it back over there. Yeah, so me and Carl, we... because I even told the dungeon masters, like, all right, we look at Carl, we're like, let's do this. So we ran and pushed the guy off the ledge, and so that kind of helped us get out from underneath that zombie barbarian, not zombie barbarian, but that zombie barbarian. And then I'm trying to figure out what else we did. Oh, there's one room that had a bunch of flaming skulls in there. Opponent's going to go for Diabolic Tutor. Search your library for a card. Sure, go for that. So there's a bunch of flaming skulls in there. We took care of those flaming skulls, and they actually ended up being, I think those flaming skulls were some previous wizards or something like that, where the because there ended up being a Lich King or a Lich in this particular dungeon or temple, and I think they were some of the previous wizards that came into that temple. But the Lich had turned into some flaming skulls, and so we defeated those, and we went downstairs, and then we went into this room that kind of had these 4. I don't want to say like they're like little coffins. I can't remember what the name that was used to describe them, but they all had kind of had like these monkey curse power to them. Arcane melee, cost 2 less to cast. Yeah, that's fine. So basically, you could be granted this power. So let's say that you get +2 to some sort of roll that you really like. You could get that +2, but at the sacrifice of that +2, you'd be scared of fire for the rest of your life, for the rest of the campaign. So an actual, drawn to ink. Okay, opponent's got 2 cards in the hand. Yeah, it's going to be 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I actually don't have enough to get down Darien. We can tap out for Staff of Nin. That's going to allow us to draw an additional card. Yeah, let's go and do that, because we need to get some good card draw going. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we can't do it as painful, at least it's not as painful as possible. And then we still have to tap down on, Nomad Stadium. Okay, let's go and push it for 3 with Bastion Protector. I was going to send her back to the command zone, and then anything else. No, we're going to leave the rest of that stuff in our hand, and we'll go and pass the turn to them. I was hoping that our opponent would have left up their commander. That way we could have gotten into Windfall, and maybe just gotten a few more cards or something that helped us get Darien out. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. So hopefully we hit the lane for the turn. We'll be able to get down Darien next turn and get out from underneath this life lock that we do have on the at least this point right now with a lot of our painful lands. Okay, opponent's going to recast their commander and look at the top X cards. Let's go and get this popped up, and then let's see. Swords to Plowshare, Gift of Estates, and Frantic Search. Okay, so that's a pretty good flip for our opponent off of that. Let's go and cross that off. Going to cross that off too. So that does give them access to Swiftfoot Boots at this point right now. Not Swiftfoot Boots. They do have access to Swords to Plowshare to take care of Darien. Now that does kind of put us in this weird spots where we do have Apostle's Blessing. So hopefully if we can get it down to where we do have Apostle's Blessing down, that'll really help us kind of get down Darien, or at least get in a spots where we can protect Darien. Let's go and go for 1 damage up top with Staff of Nin. Knock them down to 18. We're going to draw an additional card, draw into Skull Clamp, and then draw into Plains. Let's go and get Plains down. Do we want to go for Skull Clamp? Yeah, I think I'd like that. Let's go and tap out for Skull Clamp. That way, if they do have some sort of... let's get Skull Clamp onto... Actually, we can't get it on there because of the Shroud off of Lightning Greaves. Let's go and push in with Wooded Bastion Protector. And that's going to get rid of Swords of Plowshare. Now, they only have 2 cards in their hand right now. Do we want to tap out for Darien? That should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I feel like we're walking into a counterspell if we end up going for that, but we don't really want to hold back at this point right now. Yeah, let's go and go for it. It's better than nothing at this point right now. Okay, so we're going to get that 1 damage dealt. We'll get all the way down to 10. Let's see if this is going to stick with Darien. We'll keep our fingers crossed to get that Lightning Greaves onto Darien. Okay, they have Mystical Tutor. And they end up going for Decree of Pain. Okay. We'll at least be able to get Darien down, but we're not going to be able to take advantage of it if they did search up that Decree of Pain on top of their library. Still go and get Lightning Greaves over onto Darien. Okay, and then we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. It's not over yet, but that Decree of Pain is definitely not really going to help us. At least it's going to stop them from getting their commander down, and then we can still at least go ahead and, retap out for Darien once we kind of get a few more lands going. If we can get Darien down and kind of start equipping some of the Skull Clamp onto the soldier tokens, that'll really open us up as far as drawing into some cards, or at least kind of stop our opponent from getting down their commander and getting access to the top part of our library. All right, opponent's going to go for Decree of Pain. Sure, that's going to take care of Bastion. Oh, excuse me, they cycled it. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. So hopefully we'll see if Darien's still going to stick around at this point right now, if they had anything else. We're still going to go for that Decree of Pain, that Staff of Nin activation on our opponent. Okay, so our opponent did cast, sorry, we're talking to my opponent in the chat, they did cast Decree of Pain, but I think since we did have Bastion Protector on the battlefield, it gave Darien Indestructible. And so there we go. I was trying to figure out what exactly happened off that. Let's go ahead and go for Staff of Nin up top to our opponent. And so, yeah, I wasn't sure how that interaction worked, actually, but at least that's good that we got to keep Darien on the battlefield. Let's get that Staff of Nin drawn to Glorious Anthem, and then we draw into Gold Knight Commander. Now let's see, is there any certain way? We are at 9 life, so we really need to kind of be just a little bit careful on this one. Let's go ahead and go for Nomad Stadium. Let's just add 1 white mana to our mana pool to get those soldiers going. And let's see if we can't kind of draw into something that allows us to gain a little bit of life off of this. Let's go and equip onto one of our soldier tokens, draw 2 cards. Springjack Shepherd. Let's go ahead and equip on the last soldier. Ooh, there we go, drawn to Soul's Attendant. Okay, let's go and get down Soul's Attendant. That was a wonderful draw, and that will really help us kind of negate this life loss that we're getting into. Let's go and get the Plains down for the turn, and let's go ahead and let's get Swiftfoot Boots onto one of our creatures. So let's go ahead and go for Ancient Tomb, because basically what's going to happen is we're going to take some damage, but with Soul's Attendant, it's going to allow us to really get some good life gain going. Always yes, and then always yield. And let's go and get Swiftfoot Boots onto Soul's Attendant. Okay, so we are protected now. Let's go and go for Tarnished Citadel, add that white mana to our mana pool. And let's go and go for City of Brass. Okay, that puts us back up to 14. We do have 3 mana at this point right now. Let's go and go for Eldrazi Monument, because basically that's going to give us some more protection from any sort of board wipe. And give our creatures flying. All right, there we go. Anything else that we're going to go for? We can go for Glorious Anthem too, just in case our opponent has some sort of effect that makes them get -X/-X. That'll give them +3 or make them 3/3s. Let's go and swing across with Darien and Soul's Attendant for 8. Knock them down to 9, and that'll be 5 total commander damage. Okay, anything else? No. Let's go and pass the turn to our opponent. So you can see how explosive it can be. One of the good things about Darien, it's always a lot of fun, but if you get a lot of these pain lands, stuff like Tarnished Citadel, it really helps when you have something like Soul's Attendant on the battlefield, or something like Soul Warden. Opponent's going to go for Seething Song. Okay, let's see if we can survive this. And they're going to cast their commander, and let's see how much, we're going to gain 1 life off of that. Yes, we're going to use that ability, put us up to 15, and let's get the Reveal Zone popped up too. That's going to be Rebuff the Wicked, Night's Whisper, and then Mana Geyser. Ooh, that's going to end up being a ton of mana off that Mana Geyser, but at this point right now, with them only having 1 card in the hand, hopefully we should be able to get out from underneath this one. All right, so our opponent's going to scoop it up on that. I'll definitely take that. Good game to our opponent. It was kind of cool seeing that interaction with Decree of Pain and Bastion Protector on the battlefield. She definitely did her job in making sure that Darien stuck around through that Indestructible and that we could get a lot of these soldiers on the battlefield. But you can see how good it is. You know, this is pretty much exactly what you want to do with Darien. Get down some sort of life gain with Soul's Attendant, get down Anointed Procession, and then you start gaining a ton of life. So we're actually going to be able to go positive once we start dealing a lot of that damage to us. But you can see how good that fast mana is too. But yes, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.